Thursday, April 29th, 1813, London. It was not Harriet Thompson's habit to speak impulsively the first words that came into her head. She preferred to consider a matter carefully before giving utterance to her thoughts. Contemplation before conversation was her philosophy. Inevitably, this had repercussions. One was that the other members of the household considered her to be slow-witted, which was so far from being the truth as to be laughable. Her immediate family, which, in truth, was such a remote connection as to be more accurately labelled obscure, consisted of Lord Percival Frensham, Uncle Percy, his wife, Lady Dolores Frensham, Aunt Dolly, and their youngest child, the Honourable Prudence Frensham, Cousin Prue. Prue had 5 considerably older siblings, all of whom had departed the parental abode to pursue their own lives or careers. Lord Percival was a gouty old codger, more than 20 years his wife's senior, and quite the opposite of Harriet, in that spontaneous speech preceded any consideration of the restraints demanded by the usual mores of polite society. This unfortunate tendency was applied with increasing frequency, even within the intimate confines of immediate family, where, private intimacies notwithstanding, certain thoughts or observations are best left unspoken. This condition of his, which Harriet privately labelled verbalitis, had noticeably worsened in the past year or so, to the extent that even the tolerant and good-natured Aunt Dolly, who had endured more than 3 decades with the man, was becoming less forgiving. Last evening, unfortunately, the late hour of their arrival from Frensham House in Kent had necessitated a shared family supper. It had gone something like this. Uncle Percy, whose protuberant middle vouchsafed the extent to which the bon viveur derived enjoyment from his food, had filled his plate to overflowing with samples of all Cook's hastily concocted cold collation, probably twice as much as the rest of them put together, and was later seen to take a second helping. He was a noisy eater, and Harriet imagined it was an increasing embarrassment for Aunt Dolly to accompany him to any social function where consumption of edibles was required. It was particularly unfortunate when he uttered and masticated at precisely the same moment. When additionally combined with a slurp of his wine, the results were somewhat catastrophic, and the rest of them knew to position themselves out of range, except they could not avoid hearing the gastrological consequences.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.